Hi there guys, I'm Chris Bowden and welcome to the Geek Group. I'm here today with Ron Campbell, president of the Grand River Woodturners Guild, and we're assembling a Jet 16x42 electronic variable speed lathe.
Correct.
Okay, now let's teach people what that means. What's the 16x42 thing? And I totally didn't just give that away.
The 42 is the length of the bed,
Okay.
and we've got 16 inches of turning area.
Okay, so it's like an 8-inch radius?
Yes.
Okay, so,
yes.
And that means the maximum object you can swing is 16
inches.
Okay.
That is correct.
And our project today is to assemble this, and we've already started a little bit because we needed a podium. So we just took the legs out of the thing and we unpacked it all, we bolted it together. It's a pretty straightforward project.
Yes.
Now we actually did this backwards, intentionally.
Yes,
because
that is correct.
We're doing this for video, so we want the big Jet logo on the outside, but when people do this at home, the Jet logo goes on the inside.
That is correct.
And it only matters if you're going to add stuff on, because
if you're going to add a bed extension
Okay.
or accessories, this would be backwards.
Okay.
But for video reasons and exposure for Jet, we want
the
logo out front.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that because when people are doing this at home, on the only difference is that on one end there's some tapped and threaded holes for putting stuff on.
That is correct.
So for us, the headstock goes up. But if we ever need to do that, we can just spin it
We
around.
can reverse it around.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
So we've got our bed together on the stand.
Correct.
The next step is to get the headstock.
We're going to get the headstock, slide it on, and then the tailstock.
All right. You
banjo.
feeling burly?
Pardon? Yes.
Feeling burly? Let's go get it. You want motor end or tailstock end?
I'll take this.
All right. Okay. Now, when you put this on, people at home, it's important to remember when you slide this in that the clamp washer is down below there's a T-slot here, and you need the washer down below that. So we'll slide that in. Now, how far does this normally, I'm guessing the whole motor just hangs over the edge?
You can, or you can move it back and forth. If you're doing a smaller piece, you can set it here in the middle and just work in the middle of the lathe for weight distribution over the legs.
Okay.
Okay. Or you can, if you're working a bigger piece, slide it to the end.
Okay.
Okay.
Usually, like on our lathe, we move the tailstock a lot, but the headstock is like that's just where it stays.
Yeah, this is highly movable.
Okay.
So you can put it where you're comfortable.
Okay.
If you're doing small pieces, you don't need the whole lathe.
Okay.
And if you're doing a bowl, you might slide it all the way to the end,
so you can have like a really
work
big
out
swing.
over the end of it. That is correct. Oh, you have a bigger swing, and you're working further out. You're not bent over all the time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of, instead of having to do this,
Yeah.
you could just be right on the end and brace against stuff.
You still have to have room for your banjo.
Okay.
But you're working off the end and not over the top of it.
Okay, and we can show that in a bit. So let's just put this right here for now. And now, how do you lock it down?
We're going to put a stop in here first.
Oh, we've got to put a stop in?
Yep.
Oh, to keep it from coming off the end?
Yep.
So these are the stops?
Those are the stops.
Okay.
You want those in place, especially headstock end. You really don't take it off the lathe unless you're moving it.
Okay.
So that needs to stay in place. You don't want this thing to come off on you.
And I'll just grab our handy little wrench here. Okay. And we can just come right up again.
Yeah.
Oh, and that it engages the big bolt on the bottom.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can't get it off.
So we can put that right there.
We're locked in place.
Okay. And this lever locks it. It's a cam lock.
It's a cam lock.
Okay.
Yep.
Now we're going to leave this off for now because we've got to put other stuff.
So we need to get the tailstock on.
So this is the tool rest base, and this is the tool rest itself.
Also known as a banjo.
The banjo.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on down. There you go. You're in.
There we go.
Okay.
We'll slide that down out of the way.
And this just drops right in here.
Drops right down in.
Okay, so that's where that'll lock, and this usually lives down about here.
Yep.
Okay. And that's our tailstock?
Tailstock.
Beautiful.
Again, cam underneath.
Okay.
Locks in place.
So at this point, we pretty much have a lathe.
We do. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to put the
Yes.
lock
the
back
stop
down here. All right, now I've seen a lot of guys that leave this out because this is on and off all the time. What's your opinion on that?
On my lathe,
Yeah.
it goes back on every time.
Why?
Safety purposes. Is if you forget, let's say you're working on a bolt down there and you slide this down, you can accidentally knock this off. Once
Oh,
this
did it
falls,
like vibrate off?
It'll vibrate off.
Oh, okay.
Or if you bump it and push it off and it lands on your foot, you're busted up. Okay. It's just too easy to screw this back in.
And that way you never lose it. You know where it is.
You know where it is. Right now it won't come off.
Okay.
Okay. Just for safety reasons, it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. What's next?
A piece of wood and turn.
Well,
We got to do the
we've got more
electric
parts.
end of it.
We got all kinds of
Yeah,
parts
we
left
got a
over.
knockout.
And we got a whole box of real important looking stuff.
We've got a basket.
Ooh,
we
hey,
have
we got a Morse taper.
Oh, yeah, that's the drive.
Okay.
We also have, it comes with a protective cage.
Yeah, two of them, in fact.
Yeah.
And how practical is that in reality?
Well, it's, again, a safety feature.
I see it, but I've watched a lot of you guys work, and I've never seen one of these on the lathe. Is this a lawyer part?
Yeah, I think it's a CYA. And if you're doing a lot of big bark stuff, you may want to use it. It would go on like this, slide through here.
It goes in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
but again, it would be like this.
Now, what's the difference between that one and this one?
That's a basket that would go underneath.
Ah, okay. This is
You can lay your tools in it,
Okay.
that kind of thing. The way we've set the lathe up now, it would be at the wrong end because
Okay.
we reversed it to have our logo out
okay.
for Jet. Again, a lot of guys don't attach that. It becomes a
Where
dust
does it
collector.
attach? I just wanted to show people.
It would.
That black bracket that's in that box.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This bracket.
It attaches to this.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
not
amazing.
For nothing,
This actually came with directions.
not for nothing, but I
It'll
think
still
it'll
go
still
on.
go on.
It'll
Yeah.
still go on, no question.
Well, I mean, it'll go on the right end because
Yeah.
both ends are drilled and tapped for those holes.
It is, but all of a sudden, at this end, this is where all your droppings are.
Okay.
So whatever you put in here is going to fill up with droppings, where at this end, you wouldn't get nearly the droppings.
Oh, we can put on that end too if we want.
Yeah, as long as you want to. Oh, yeah, it's on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can go at either end.
Okay. We've got. I'm a metal lathe guy, so I'm used to the pan there. It's just it's a full pan. It catches oil and stuff like
and-
that.
yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So what else do you want to put on there?
I think at this point, nothing.
Nothing?
We have to connect the electric.
Okay.
This is 220.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, exactly. We just have to get a plug that accommodates whatever we're going to plug into here at the gate group.
Well, the thing that we need to know there is the motor is 60 hertz, single phase, and yeah, nothing to it. What I need to know is the amperage of the motor. Let's see if we can find. Oh, this is tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 15.7 amps, no problem. So for 15 amps, we'll use a 20 amp circuit, so that's 12 gauge wire, which is easily done. And this is wired up with 12 gauge wire. So we just need a regular 20 amp 240 plug, which is, as 240 plugs go, that's actually really small and easy to get. It's $30 up at the local big box store. And we'll get a plug and a matching socket, and we'll have our electrician wire in a feed for this.
Yep.
And it's easy to do. But that's why they come
Correct.
unterminated, because it all depends on your location.
Yes.
Okay. So that's pretty much as far as we can go for the basic assembly of it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, this is the point where we're going to stop for our shop, because this is, for video use, this is what we want. A lot of people would have the guard net for safety, and we certainly recommend that. But in our videos, because we need to be able to get clear shots with cameras, and we're doing this with trained professional wood turners, we can do this and it's okay. We certainly don't recommend that this is how you guys do it at home. By all means, follow all the safety procedures. And to that end, we're going to actually go a bit beyond our normal setup and show people how to install that so that they can get the guard in.
We're going to install
Yeah.
the guard. And eventually, before we really start to turn, we will build a clear plexiglass panel.
Yeah, we've got guards and stuff.
Guards that we will put on this also, but for video reasons, we won't use the cage.
Yeah.
So at this point, we'll put the cage on and show you the ease of installation of the cage.
Now we took off the little stopper ring on
There's
this
a
end.
collar that goes
Okay.
on here.
And you just lift this up. Okay.
Now, there you go.
And then you just find the spot, and it holds it right there. So you lift this little pin to get it out of your way,
Correct.
and
There's another lock
notch,
there.
and it holds it there.
Yep. We're going to put this collar back on.
Okay. That just slides right on the end, and a little Allen key. Just snug
Yes.
it down. You don't have to get crazy with it. And then that will keep this from sliding back and forth, and it keeps it aligned so that you can just do that. Now, this sitting at rest is under a little bit of tension, so you want to lift up, when you move this, you lift up just a little bit with your hand and take the tension off the pin, and it makes it a lot easier to pull the pin. So it's very simple, very straightforward on the guard, and that's your safety cage.
This is your work area. This is your safety cage. If you're debarking, you've got a log on here, you're taking
Okay.
bark off. It is nice to use. It's great protection.
Okay.
It's highly advisable.
This keeps big stuff coming at you, but you
Yeah.
still want to have a face shield.
Always
just
wear a
for
face shield.
eye protection.
Yeah, face shield's the best.
Okay. So that is our finished setup. Now there's a couple other little accessories like the basket and that, but they're really straightforward. We're not going to be doing that because we've got it all twisted around. So I think that pretty much wraps us up for this assembly here.
Yes.
All right. All right, so I'm just going to put this down, and with that, I think we're done. I think we've
Yes,
got this.
yes.
All right, I want to thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
We want to thank you for the support of the Grand River Woodturners Guild. If you are in the West Michigan region and are interested in learning about the art and science of wood turning, check them out. Ron Campbell's a boss, and he's a really cool guy. They're funny as a rubber crutch, and they're down here every month making videos, doing stuff, building projects. They have swap meets and show and tells and all kinds of fun stuff. We want to thank you all for watching. I'm Chris Bowden. That's Ron Campbell, and as always, we'll see you next time.
This video was made possible by a grant from the Future Girl Foundation.
This video was made possible by thousands of private donations from members and viewers like you. Please visit thegeekgroup.org for more information on how you can donate and become a part of our dreams of Avalon.